Welcome or welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, I'm Ria, and in today's video we are going to be going through my 10 before the end. It is almost December. Today is the 19th of November, so we have 10 days, 11 days left of this month, and I feel like, including the rest of this month and December, I will probably read around 10 more books before the year is over. So that means I can give you my official YouTube version of my 10 before the end. I feel like this does tend to change every time I do it, just a slight bit, so I am going to include some honourable mentions, just as some extra books that I would also like to get around to reading before the end of the year if I do go beyond that. So this is kind of the TBR I'm aiming to read from for then. I think we're going to start with our honourable mentions because they're ones I'll aim to get to but not definite. Starting off strong, we have The Blood We Crave by Monty J. This is book 3 in the Hollow Boys series. I have read obviously the first 2 books and I have actually really enjoyed this series so far. I just kind of needed a break between books 2 and books 3, so I do really want to go back into this, and I think I definitely will before the year is over. I am so excited for Thatcher and Lyra's book. I've literally heard nothing but good things about this story. I know so many people have them as their favourites from this series, so I'm hopeful that it's going to be the same for me. I know I absolutely adored Rook and Sage specifically, and I also did love Alistair and Briar, so I don't know, I can't really see who's going to be my favourite at this point, but just based on how much I loved Rook and Sage, I feel like it's going to be hard to top that, although whilst reading the others I have loved seeing Lyra and Thatcher in their little cameos. I have very high hopes, and the only reason this isn't on my proper 10 before the end for this video is because the other books I have here are kind of ones that have been on my TBR or just in my mind to read for a little bit longer. I am very excited for this, and I definitely think I will pick this up by the end of the year. I can totally see myself reading the rest of the books in this series before the year is over. Our second honourable mention is City of Souls and Sinners by Kayla Edwards. This is book 2 in the House of Devils series, and I was actually earlier trying to listen to the audiobook, but I don't like the narrator, so I think I'm actually just gonna have to read it instead, which is totally fine. It just means I can't use the audiobook to get back into this series after not reading it for a while. The reason I think this is on this honourable mention 10 before the end list is because it has been so long since I read the first book. I actually need to get my act together and start reading these series in a closer span of time, because what do you mean I read City of Gods and Monsters at the very beginning of April? I loved the first book. I gave it a 5-star and I was so excited to see where the story went in the second book. I'm pretty sure I bought these physical copies straight away. I don't know why I did not decide to get up and continue it. Can someone actually hold me accountable? Because clearly I can't hold myself accountable. Like I said, I am very, very excited to continue this series, and I do really want to see where it goes from where it left off in the first book. It is a chunky one. I feel like all the books are chunky ones. Apart from that, there's really no excuse. Our next honourable mention is The War of Winnipeg and Me by Mariana Zapata. I have loved both books I've read by her so far. I've read Wait For It and All Roads Lead Here. They have both been 5 stars. Wait For It is literally one of my favourite books of all time. I cannot describe to you how much I love that book, and it wasn't even the one I was looking for whilst I was shopping at the time. I'm pretty sure I was looking for this book. I'm almost 100% sure this is the one I was looking for, and I ended up picking up Wait For It instead, and it just seemed to work out. So it was one of those books I just happened to find and pick up at the right time. I loved it. Everyone on TikTok has been telling me to read this if I love her other books. This is definitely the next book I'll be picking up by her, and then I think I'll go on to her next books. So far, I'm so excited for this. If you don't know, Mariana Zapata is the absolute queen of slow burn. Nobody else compares to her. She has a way with words, just making everything like the story, the relationship, the friendship, the way she manages to make that all come together, phenomenal. I adore her. And next year I will be reading her entire backlist. The next honourable mention I have is A Reaper at the Gates. This is similar to City of Gods and Monsters in the terms I need to start reading these series in closer time frames. I think I read A Torch Against the Night in May or June, sometime around then was when I last read a book in this series, and it's only 4 books. So I really don't have much of an excuse, and I have actually started this. I'm not that far into it, but I have started it to some degree. I'm not sure if the audiobook is one I can listen to. I always say this, I'm a bit funny with narrators. If I find the voice somewhat annoying, I can't listen to it, and that's why I've stopped listening to City of Souls and Sinners, because one of the narrators I just could not listen to. I'm sorry, that sounds so bad, but yeah, I just struggle with it. I can't listen to it if I find it off, but I do really want to try and finish this series before the end of the year. I'm putting it out there. It's not a book I'm feeling very desperate to pick up right now. It's one of these books that I definitely want to get read at some point very soon, but I'm just not feeling the energy, the pull to pick it up. So I've loved this series, and I don't think it's a reflection of the fact that I'm not enjoying this series or that I'm not going to enjoy the last books, because I know I will. They have all been, both of the books I've read in this series so far have been 4+ stars. So it's nothing to do with that. I just think there's a time and a place. You pick up a book when it feels right. It doesn't feel right now. The last honourable mention we have before we get into the proper list is God of Fury by Rena Kent. I have read Legacy of God out of order, and I don't know why. Some of the books in the series actually don't appeal to me, specifically God of Pain. I don't know why, it just doesn't, I don't feel any sort of pull to pick that up. I think I'm going to go straight into God of Fury next. I am so unbelievably excited for this book. I've heard literally nothing but good things, and I think it's going to be one I love. I will see how I feel, and I think I'm going to aim to pick it up before the end of the year. I hope I love it. I genuinely think there's no possibility of me not, because of the hype surrounding it. But then again, I didn't actually adore God of Wrath the way I expected to, so you never know. Then we move on to our proper list of the 10 books I want to read before the end of this year. So let's get straight on into that. The first book I don't actually own physically, but I do really think it's going to be one of the next books I purchase. That is Bride by Ali Hazelwood. I recently read Mate, and I actually adored it. I rated it at 4.5 stars. I am very excited to go back and read Bride. I think I'm gonna love it, and I think it is one that has been on my radar for a long time, and one I've heard nothing but good things about. So I really do think it's time that I pick it up. So I'm very excited for it. Again, I absolutely loved Mate, so I'm very much looking forward to seeing some characters that we saw in that book have their story. I actually love a werewolf romance. I'm here to say it, guys. It was so fun. I've always loved slightly paranormal, supernatural TV shows, books, movies, etc. So I'm very excited for that. And again, I think it'll be one I'm picking up very soon. Then I have Heavenly Bodies by Imani Eriu. I think that's how you pronounce her last name. Please do correct me if I'm wrong. I've actually started this, and I'm 77 pages in. I struggled with this. I've struggled so far with the beginning. I don't know what it was, I just couldn't quite get into it. So I'm going to obviously go back and try again from the point I'm at. I have pre-ordered the Fairyloot edition of Fallen Stars, and I've not even read book 1. The copies are so gorgeous, and I was so desperate for Heavenly Bodies in that Fairyloot edition that I couldn't let the opportunity go when I saw that it was available. I really needed to get my hands on that, and I actually can't believe I managed to. I'm so excited to have that in my hands. I just need to give this book its opportunity to shine, because at the end of the day, I'm not far through at all, so I do need to pick it up and get through it, and I think I need to do it before the end of the year. It's been on my radar and talked about for so long that what am I doing? And if I've already started it, there's literally no excuse. The Second Death of Locke. This is a more recent addition to the Ten Before the End. I have seen nothing but good things about this, and I've heard it's a debut novel. Why wouldn't I want to pick this up by the end of the year if it's not only a phenomenal book, not only a debut, but also a night fantasy? If you know me, you know I'm a sucker for a night fantasy. This is obviously immediately added to all lists, including Ten Before the End. I'm just excited to see what this is about because it's not hugely talked about, but I feel like everything I have seen has been amazing. I actually don't really know what goes on in it. We will see, and it's being read before the end of the year. The next book is Alchemized by Senlin Yu. I feel like I have been talking about this book for so long. Nothing's come of it. I haven't picked it up, I haven't read it, but I do actively think about picking this book up. I want to assure you it will happen before the end of the year. I just feel like the fact that it's over 1,000 pages is intimidating, and I have also kind of missed my opportunity to just sit down and binge read this because I don't have a lot of time. I need to be in the mood for actually physically holding a chunk of a book. Then I have Love Like Farms, which actually I really want to read over the Christmas period. I have been wanting to read this for the longest time, and I don't know why I haven't yet. I just never seem to get around to these seasonal reads, but I am very excited for this. I cannot wait to read anything by B.K. Borison. I have not yet read a book by her. It will be so fun to read a Christmassy book over Christmas because that is also something I've never done. I've heard nothing but good things about B.K. Borison. I genuinely don't think I've seen a single horrible review about her or her writing, so cannot wait. Then we have Anathema by Kerry Lake. I have read Nocticadia and I did like it. It wasn't my favourite book ever, so I'm hoping I have a really good time with this book as well. I feel like I've either seen kind of mid things about this, or I've seen phenomenal drop everything and pick this up reviews for this. Feels like it's something that's going to be up my street. I do love a dark gothic fantasy, so the vibes are there. Have you seen the weather? The vibes are also there. The glossary at the front though does make me a tiny bit worried. It also just seems very unique to me. I feel like the words in this, just the entire like concept, I honestly have no idea what it's about. So it's giving dark forests, curses, witches, kind of like mysterious dark vibes. This is probably one read I've been putting off for the absolute longest time, for literally no reason now. I've had it on my Kindle since before it was picked up for traditional publishing, so I'm not sure why I haven't yet. I've been wanting to read Fairytale for the absolute longest time now. Again, I don't know why I haven't yet. I am very excited for this. I feel like I need all my brain power, and I say this every time, but I've just heard it's kind of one of those books where you don't know the truth of anything until it's revealed at the very end. You're gonna be confused, but you're meant to be confused, so like just sit back and be confused. It's also quite chunky. Again, perfect for this time of year, dark gothic. It's also another book I feel like you either love or you hate, so hopefully, again, I will be on the love side of things. Then we have A Tongue So Sweet and Deadly. This is one I have seen, I feel like everywhere at this point. I am so excited for this, although I do now know it's a love triangle, I believe, so I'm not excited for that aspect. I have never been and never will be a love triangle girl. Not excited for that. I'm very excited, and I'm also more excited because the series is coming to an end by the end of this year, so if I do want to pick this up now, it won't be long until it's concluded, so I don't have to worry about waiting. I'm very excited for this. I've heard so many good things, and I feel like everyone binges this entire series. It also sounds phenomenal. I'm so excited. Brimstone by Callie Hart. This came out yesterday. It was delivered yesterday, and I am so unbelievably excited for this. I am a lover of Quicksilver. You cannot convince me it is not a good book. It is so fun, So fast paced, so enjoyable. I do really want to reread Quicksilver before I go into this one, just because it's been so long. I do really want to read this, and I will be reading it before the end of the year, just because it's probably my most anticipated read so far. I've been wanting this since August of last year when I picked up Quicksilver, so it will definitely be read before January. I also do love the metallic sprayed edges, and also the end papers are so cute. Like, what? I don't know if this is niche, but like the pages are so thin that it's like really satisfying. And then the final book I have here is Tempest of Wrath and Vengeance by Melissa K. Roerich. I did originally have Storm of Secrets and Sorrow on this list, but I have since read it. So then this book is the next one to go on, because I want to have this series completed by the end of the year. Book 4 comes out a week tomorrow. So I do want to have it done by the end of the year, and I feel like it's realistic. I don't know though, guys. We've got to be real. It took me so long to get from Reign of Shadows and Endings to the end of Storm of Secrets and Sorrow, so I hope it doesn't take me as long to get to the end of this and then Dawn of Chaos and Fury. We'll see. But I am excited to continue this, and I feel like it left off in a place where I am very intrigued and looking forward to going into the third book, although I do kind of hate every character apart from Axel and Katya, so I don't know. That is my 10 before the end plus 5 honourable mentions. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please like, subscribe, comment and let me know. Who knows how many of these I will get through. We will see by the end of the year. I will actually be so annoyed at myself if I don't get through at least half of these, or at least the 10 before the end. So yeah, feel free to shout at me to read these. I hope to see you all again in the next one, potentially reading some of these.